Anochi esmach asis badonai igdil asot im benecha shmona.
Finding the Light, the amazing true story of the first Jews in the United States and how the magic of Hanukkah symbolizes their struggle and triumph in a new world. Story by Arthur Piccolo, 2008. Introduction. The basic facts are well established, even if little known beyond Jewish historians. In late 1654, a European Jew, Jacob Barsimson, arrived in New Amsterdam, which had just become America's first self-governing city the year before. He was sent by Jewish leaders in Amsterdam to report back if New Amsterdam would make a good place for a Jewish settlement in this new world. 2 weeks later, totally by happenstance, a group of 23 Jews led by Asser Levy arrived in New Amsterdam, fleeing persecution in Portuguese Brazil. As a result, Levy and his group and Jacob Barsimson stayed in New Amsterdam to begin the Jewish experience in America. Only the bare facts are known. There are no diaries or other records that would detail those first months, except for all the important points that the Director General of the Dutch West India Company, Peter Stuyvesant, tried to expel them but could not. I have taken the basic facts, my own research and knowledge of very early New York City, from my years here at Bowling Green, and I have crafted a story mixing fact and fantasy to tell the tale of those first days, the first Jews ever to set foot in North America. To my knowledge, this epic story of almost biblical dimensions has never been told in story form to reach a wide audience. In addition, I combined those early days with the fascinating modern-day story of how Hanukkah has finally come to be celebrated on a regular basis at Bowling Green, and how it might be celebrated in the future, to produce a factual fantasy I hope will appeal to children and adults of all ages. For the future, become a staged version to be performed during Hanukkah here at Bowling Green each December in the future. Arthur Piccolo, 1116, 2008. Finding the Light, the story of the first Jews in America and how Hanukkah came to Bowling Green, by Arthur Piccolo. Chapter 1. Jacob Barsimson did not know where he was, but he knew he had been here before. Something was familiar. When he heard the singing coming from the darkness, then Jacob began to remember. But who were all these people dressed in strange clothes surrounding him, and why didn't they seem to see him? As the sky darkened and the voices grew louder, the others coming out of the darkness, now he could see them. At least they were all dressed like him. How many of them were there? It seemed like a lot. Men, women, children, each carrying a bright lantern in one hand. They were like a great swaying mass of people, moving in rhythm to the songs they were singing. Barsimson also noticed the fence surrounding him as these Jews, yes, Jews, men, women, and children, walked through the gate and began spreading out as they entered. They all looked as confused as he was. They walked around and even through all those people in strange clothes surrounding them. Jacob realized what he had just said. they walked through these people surrounding him. Something was surely wrong. How could this be? Who are they? Who am I? Am I one of them? This crowd doesn't seem to see them either. Then Jacob turned around, and the whole scene became even stranger. He saw shining buildings all around him, radiating light from their windows high into the sky. At that point, these other Jews, if that is what they were, because Jacob was not sure of anything at this point, they all joined Jacob high above the others, these strangers surrounding them in the middle of the circle, this stage. And now he could count them. There were 23 men, women, and children, and one of them seemed to be their leader, a tall, thin man with a beard, some gray in his hair, wearing a long black coat, a white shirt, buttoned to his neck, and most notably of all, a black hat that framed his face wonderfully and somehow seemed to glow. Jacob watched as they each placed their lantern, all 23 of them, symmetrically at the edge of the stage, forming a great circle of bright light that framed them, all radiating outward toward the crowd that filled the park, making everything glow richly. Then he approached Jacob. "Good to see you again, my brother." "What, do I know you?" The other man said, "Of course you do, Jacob. Let's see how many years it is now since 1654. Once again, Jacob said, "What?" "Jacob, it must be old age. Your mind is slipping. You know who I am, Asser Levi. We first met right here, on this very spot, back on September 7, 1654, and later we all made a solemn vow to return here every year at Hanukkah, forevermore, as spirits, to remember, always remember who we are and what we accomplished together." Then Jacob left with joy. "Yes, yes, yes. How could I ever forget my dear, dear friend Asser and all of you? We are together again." Together they were, as they had gathered here every December for the 8 nights of Hanukkah. Just as they had vowed to do in life when back in 1654 and the years that followed, Asser Levi, Jacob Bar Simpson, and the others were the first Jews here in North America when this place was called New Amsterdam. Now the fun was about to begin. There was a reason a huge crowd stood standing, filling this place, this circle surrounded by a fence. It was the legend of Hanukkah at Bowling Green. On this, the first night of Hanukkah, here early in the 21st century, hundreds of years after Jacob, Asser, and the other 22 had completed their earthly journeys to go over to the other side. Their spirits, call them angels now, have been returning here every December. What you need to know right now is that since then, each December, at Hanukkah, all 24 of them come to life, become visible to those alive. These 24 Jews to lead the most wonderful Hanukkah celebration anywhere, each and every year. A simple and elegant, large golden menorah appears exactly in the center of what is now a fountain in warm weather, in the middle of the park each December for Hanukkah. That is why there are so many people here tonight. It is the first night of Hanukkah again, and the legend of the first Jews draws Jews and non-Jews from all over each year to witness this miracle. It was fully dark now. The sun had set completely on its journey westward, taking all its light with it. And then it happened, as it has the 8 nights of Hanukkah for more than 350 years. An unearthly glow, beautiful, mesmerizing, beyond what words can describe, radiates out of the darkness, where the spirits of Asher, Jacob, and the others stand above this crowd, surrounding them on every side. In an instant, they are back again. Their bodies, just as they were back in 1654, are returned to them. Nobody fully understands how. Not them, not the crowd, not the scientists and sages who have been studying what the grown-up world would call an unexplained phenomenon. The crowd stands there in hushed silence. The 24 Jews up there above them all look surprised and delighted, as they do every Hanukkah when it happens again. It takes a few moments for them to orient themselves, to remember what it was like to be here back in the 1600s. Then they look at each other knowingly in the joy that binds them together as Jews for all time. They smile at each other. They hug. Then it begins. What many call the ritual that everyone else has come to see, to witness and never forget. Music, glorious music, fills the air, radiates throughout the crowd, and these 24 spirits made real to the crowd tonight begin a joyous dance. All the women, children, and men in a large circle, dancing and singing with a power and majesty that no mere mortals ever could. All around the great menorah, in the center, they dance and sing until all the thousands who have filled this plaza are dancing and singing along with them. When the music ends, the 23, who have been carrying lanterns in the darkness, place them symmetrically at the edge of their circular stage above the crowd. All except Jacob, who does not have a lantern, carries an ornately carved rod taller than him. Finally, as those who are in the crowd, who return here year after year, know, and as the others know, because all that happens here each Hanukkah is so famous, there is almost no one in the world who does not know the story of what happens each year at Hanukkah at Bowling Green.
Bim bam bim bam bim bam hanerot alalu anachnu madlikin al hanisim ve'al haniflaot ve'al hamilchamot she'asita lavoteinu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh al yedei kohanecha hakedoshim ve'choshmonat yemei Chanukah ve'choshmonat yemei Chanukah hanerot halalu kodeshem ve'en lanu reshut להשתמש בהם אלא לראותם בלבד כדי להודות ולהלל לשמך הגדול על ניסיך ועל נפלאותיך ועל ישועתך יבא bim bam 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 ya ba bim bam 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 ya ba bim bam bim bam bim bam bim bam bim bam bim bam bim